Call me in order with the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before any executive sessions,
There were none.
before public comment, I just want to introduce Kim here is going to be taking the chief of clerk's position from Linda. I'm just training her. So I don't know if you'll be trained well, because Linda's doing it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Linda's doing it, she'll be.
Let's stand up and wait for her.
You want to wait?
She's coming to the treasurer's office, not Elvis' house.
Public comment.
Jeff Uncle Palo Alto, welcome on board, good luck. Having to deal with Larry every day, God bless you. Again, just no update or paperwork on the Stevens issue. And again, Ms. Gaffney not here, or even in the building again. As of 9:30 this morning, 7 elected officials not here, as of 9:30. So continued trend for elected officials that are abusing the system and taking advantage of the taxpayers. That's all I have today. Thanks.
Morning, Laura.
You want to, Laura?
Good morning. Laura Krasinowski, City of Huntsville. I allege that the board's decision was illegal to assess taxes against my property based on the following. At all times beginning in 2005 to date, the City of Pottsville refused to enforce its building and zoning codes on 317 and 319 West Laurel Boulevard, which was blatantly encroaching into my property without permits. I contend the city's decades of refusing to enforce its laws for that period demonstrates abandonment of my property so as to extinguish the city's right to tax my property. At all times, after reporting to the Schuylkill County Assessor's Office, which verified building additions and encroachments into my property, number 317, 319 West Laurel, by number 317, 319 West Laurel Boulevard, the Assessor's Office noted into the record that no building permits were sent up. Thereafter, the Assessor's Office did fail to comply with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's law, which permitted the county the legal means and the duty to turn the matter over to the law department. The Assessor's Office failed to act. After a decade of doing nothing to stop and correct, I aver the county of Schuylkill extinguished its right to tax my property. At all times, after appearing in Russell J.'s court, wherein I attempted to present a survey, a report of survey, and explain I could not pay my taxes on my property because it was being encroached on until the metes and the bounds were sorted out. Judge Russell looked at me and said, "You must pay your taxes," and falsely assured me, "We will sort this out later." A decade later, the court has failed to sort the matter out. After a decade of not sorting this out later, as claimed by Russell J., I aver the court approved and did extinguish the right of the City of Pottsville, Pottsville School District, and the County of Schuylkill to tax my property. Thank you. And for the people who need to know the difference between filing an assessment in Schuylkill County versus filing an assessment in Lehigh County, if you go to Lehigh County, you can get a fill-in-the-blanks form. You just change the county name, and you can file your taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? If not, to a meeting, grant writers.
Larry, if you want to get on the hour later.
Now to, well, wait.
Good morning, Commissioners. Today I'm requesting approval of a resolution to submit an application to DCED for the Community Development Block Grant Program in the amount of $1,137,252 for federal fiscal year 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Library.
Good morning. I'm requesting the execution of the renewal of the existing Westlaw ProFlex Patron Access Legal Research Program. This contract extends the program for an additional 36 months, commencing on January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2028. The first year monthly cost is $3,215.57, with a 5% increase for each 12-month period thereafter. Thank you.
I got a question. What is the justification for the 5% increase? Is that just their standard?
It's the standard increase.
Does
Yes.
anybody ever ask them, can they do any better with the increase?
I don't think so. I mean, we can check into it.
Could you check into it, please?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Children, and youth,
On that.
Does it say it's on?
Good morning.
you're not even gonna sing.
Okay, we're asking approval for an addendum to the agreement with All Shred Moscow, PA, dated July 24th, 2024, for shredding services to add rates for a standard file box at $18 per box and large file box at $26 per box. And approval of the following 5 agreements, each for the term of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. The County of Northampton, Easton, PA, for secure detention services, female treatment program, male treatment program, and specialized treatment program services, each at a per diem of $415. Community Options, Inc. of Princeton, New Jersey, for dual licensed residential and community homes for individuals with intellectual disability or autism services, with per diem rates as follows. Unit ID NU for youth aged 11 to 21 at $967.19. And unit ID DE for youth 17 and older, approved for a Medicaid waiver at $619.12. The Outside In School of Experiential Education, Inc., Boulevard, PA, for community-based residential services, with per diem rates as follows. Voyagers Residential at $348, Pathway to Recovery at $359, and Guided Path at $990. Adelphi Village for residential services with per diem rates as follows. Intensive mental health at $476.81. Secure at $611.19. Secure sexual offenses at $604.67. Complex case at $1,193.01, as well as detention at $779.50. And for foster care services with per diem rates as follows. Intensive at $104.15, pregnant parenting at $110.03, teen focused at $118.12, and agency owned at $219.51. And lastly, White Deer Run LLC, Torrance, PA, residential placement services with per diem rates as follows. Adolescent male sex offenders co-prep at $451.75. 2-week diagnostic evaluation program at $604.50, and secure unit adolescent male sex offender program at $690.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senior services. Right, yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Approval requested for an addendum to extend the contract with Regional Cooperative LLC, Blair County Area Agency on Aging of Altona, PA, for assistance in protective services until December 31st, 2025. Protective services line intake is approximately $873 a month, effective as of July 1st, 2025. Protective service investigative staff is $30.89 an hour, and PS supervision is $47.67 an hour, effective July 1st. The agency will be billed on actual cost. The revised cap will be $211,940, which is $60,000 from the prior cap.
Yeah, while you're up, I just want to share a story. I got a call from an individual claiming that she was an elderly person being mistreated, being cheated by the county,
Yeah.
being ignored, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Did some research. The person is not even a Pennsylvania resident. Her daughter will never live with her. Deanna had her put up in the motor in taking care of her. And this lady has 3 different aliases and has no birth certificate, no social security card. So they get that call and they accuse her and her staff of mistreating her and not taking care of her and leaving her homeless, was just gross lies.
Yes.
And I just want to comment that she and her staff knock themselves out to help people and then get mistreated and abused like they're
Yes.
criminals. I mean, I was just appalled at when I did the research, the lady, well, she doesn't take care of me, won't call me, but none of it's true, and like I say, the county is providing her living space till we get her birth certificate and figure out what her name really is.
Yep.
So I just want to give you a pat on the back for not losing your patience and hanging in there, so
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Agricultural Conservation District? Yeah, what about your appointments? You didn't read yesterday's thing. Like, I'm like, wait a second. why did she
I'm so
read-
sorry.
Yeah.
Approval for the reappointments of the Office of Senior Services Advisory Board members. The members are updated terms for another 3 years as follows. Annetta White-Cabbage, October 1st, 2025 to September 30th, 2028. Mildred Dronitzky, September 1st, 2025 to August 31st, 28. And Dorothy Moran, June 1st, 2025 to May 31st, 2028. Sorry about that.
Agricultural Conservation District. Okay, because I'm looking at it like, did I miss it? I'm trying to think, did I miss her saying it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, did I miss it?
Morning, Commissioners. I'm here today to approve the request for the agreement of sale and purchase of the agricultural conservation easement between the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the County of Schuylkill jointly in perpetuity for a total purchase price of $153,380, on which the county contribution totals $65,000. This agreement of sale is for the James D. and Tammy L. Dunn Farm, which consists of 4 parcels in West Penn Township. And it does consist of 76.69 acres.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
911 Communications?
What's,
Morning. I have one item for consideration next week, tentative agreement with Greens Communications, if possible, for maintenance on the net clock and time synchronization. The cost will be $4,200 and the term is from October 1, 2025 to September 30, 2026.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Real estate engineering, planning and zoning.
Morning. Approval is requested for a novation agreement assigning the county's contract with Land Studies dated June 25th, 2025 to Wetland Studies Solutions Incorporated. The novation agreement has been reviewed and approved by the county solicitor's office. Land Studies contract was executed to conduct watershed assessment as part of the county's Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities BRIC grant program, and the scope will remain the same essentially. Wetland Studies purchased Land Studies, so we're just assigning the contract to them.
Thank you. Treasurer's office.
Commissioners, I'm presenting the treasurer's report for September 2025. I do got a note that there was a computer error and a coding on one of our new investments that we moved just in between M&T accounts to capitalize on our interest rates. So the investments total ending balance should be a plus 28 million, and I'll submit an amended report for that. So our ending balance in all accounts would be $100,691,799.45. Okay.
Solicitor's office. Morning, Paul.
Morning, Commissioners. The Solicitor's Office is requesting approval for the Solicitor's Office to prepare and advertise for further consideration by the Board an ordinance designating the redevelopment authority of the County of Schuylkill as the land bank for Schuylkill County. The intent would be to have that ordinance finalized and advertised so that the Board could consider the ordinance at its November 5th work session with potential adoption on November 12th. And I'm requesting immediate approval at this time, just for the preparation and advertising.
I'll make a motion, we approve the land bank request.
Second. Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
and Commissioner Hess.
Secondly, we're requesting approval to authorize the execution of the stipulation in connection with settlement of an assessment appeal initiated by the taxpayer in the matter of Geisinger Clinic versus Schuylkill County Board of Assessment Appeals, Court of Common Pleas of Schuylkill County, number S-1929-2024. This matter arose from a finding by the Schuylkill County Board of Assessment Appeals that the taxpayer did not meet its burden of proof for establishing a basis for a reduction in the fair market value and resulting real estate tax assessment of the subject property. After extensive negotiations and upon examination of the taxpayer's subsequently submitted commercial appraisal, the parties will stipulate to an overall fair market value of $1,840,000 for the tax parcel 04-18-78, effective January 1, 2025, upon which the resulting tax assessment will be $377,200, calculated based upon the 2008 State Tax Equalization Board certified common law ratio of 20.5%. As a result of the amendment, the assessment of the property is increased to $1,840,000 as of January 1, 2026, and thereafter. So upon approval of this motion, we'll also establish the fair market value of the property going forward. So Geisinger actually had an assessment appeal pending before the Board of Assessment Appeals, which has now been withdrawn based on this. I would also state that the school district and municipality have already agreed to and signed the stipulation.
Thank you. County Administrator.
Okay, approval to appoint Mark Emmerich of New Ringgold to the Planning Commission Board for the fill the unexpired term of Travis Smelts, October 22nd, 2025 through December 31st, 2028.
Finance Office.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have 3 items for informational purposes only: a $600 adjustment within the engineering department, a $19,000 adjustment for the current budget year in the election bureau. That is for moving money from a grant to allow for the general election services that are needed coming up in November. And then a $35,011 adjustment within risk management. Those are the only items.
Thank you. Any current human resources?
Good morning, Commissioners. We have nothing to report.
Okay. Okay, Al, you're here. Did I skip you?
I don't have anything this year in case I'm regard to our transfer.
Okay.
I did ask about that $19,000 transfer. You said your response was.
Cover the professional services that will be anticipated for the upcoming election, having to do with our brokers and suppliers, the ES&S support that we have, and a couple other.
And also the increase in postal services.
Postal services, and things of that nature.
Okay, is there any new business?
Motion to adjourn.
No, wait, hold on. I just want to bring up that
Okay, hang on.
in the mail, people got PP&Ls increasing the rates, asking for an increase. You know, there's a cause and effect thing here. Like Pennsylvania, our governor fighting the regional greenhouse initiative thing, they shut down how many power plants? All over Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania used to be a net exporter of power. Now we're importing power into Pennsylvania, and that's why you're seeing these rate increases. And it just gets passed on to us. It gets passed on to the taxpayers and the people, homeowners and everything. So I just wanted to make the public aware of this, that, you know, I would call, you know, the governor's office and everybody in Harrisburg and tell them, don't approve this rate increase, turn on some new power plants. Get some new power plants up and running. So, thank you.
Okay, sorry, sir. Motion to adjourn.
Oh, and then notice for the next retirement board meeting will be held Thursday, November 6th. And the commissioners meeting will be November 6th on that Thursday, and November 13th will be the commissioners meeting on a Thursday. And there's 5 Wednesdays in this month, so there's no commissioner meeting at the end of October. Did I get it all, Linda? Okay.
Is it the 12th or the 13th?
It's the 13th. 13th.
It's Thursday because of the holiday.
Because of the holiday. Salary board, report of any executive sessions. Public comment for salary board. Human resource office.
Nothing to report, Commissioners.
Any new business for salary board? Motion to adjourn. Oh, Tim, sorry, we forgot you at the first bit. We're not adjourning yet.
Motion to adjourn.
No, we're not to adjourn.
Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not part of the official meeting anyway. It's just a
Yeah.
reassessment report on behalf of the assessment office. Tim Barr, Vision Government Solutions, Inc. The first batch of formal decision orders, as has been previously reported, was mailed. That had about 3,200 parcels went out in that mailing. The deadline to appeal to common pleas is tomorrow. So if you got your formal decision order and you're not happy with it, you have until tomorrow to file the paperwork with the prothonotary. The second batch of about 2,900 was prepared yesterday by Chrissy and myself and will be in the mail on Monday. So that starts the 30-day clock for those. The deadline for that will be November 19th to file the appeal for common pleas. There will be a third and final batch that will go out. They'll probably be put in the mail around the 17th of November, the Monday after mid-November. That will include any outstanding stragglers. There are about 1,000 appeals yet to be heard between now and the end of the month. Over at the STS building. So if you're scheduled for an appeal hearing, come to that. There were about 400 properties that appealed and then withdrew. There were about 400 properties that appealed where through some research and meetings, we adjusted the values and those also withdrew. Neither those nor folks that don't show up get to go to common pleas. They would have to wait till another year to file a regular appeal. So we now have the count of how many actual appeals were filed. The stacks were hard to estimate, and my eyesight is giving me grief here, apologies. Because I'm looking at the wrong paper too, that doesn't help. Ultimately, we had about 7,500 parcels appeal, which is just over 8% of the 92,000 parcels in the county. We were expecting somewhere between 8 and 15%. So we had fewer informal reviews than we thought. I think it was about 3,400 of those. 7,500 people went straight to the boards. And again, 800 of those were resolved or didn't choose to attend the hearing. Next steps are the mailing of the final decision orders after the hearings are complete. The Clean and Green enrollment deadline is the 15th, which is also tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Or today?
Today.
15th. So you got to get your Clean and Green application in here before close of business today if you want it to take effect for next year and beyond. You can appeal the following year, but the deadline was extended. Chrissy's staff is going to have, they have several hundred new Clean and Green applications. So they got their work cut out for them. If they aren't all processed by November 15th, it's not the end of the world. They'll get processed before bills go out next year. But hopefully we'll get most of those into the certification. There are also maintenance change of assessment notices in the pipeline. That's been set aside for a while appeals were worked on, but new construction, splits, combinations, those aren't lost. They just have been deferred. And if you get one of those notices, you actually will get a 30-day appeal window. They'll probably schedule the hearing for that next year, and it'll be sort of like this. It'll be retroactively applied if you're successful. That's a normal process, maintenance notices, but there will be, I don't want you to confuse appeal results with maintenance notices because there will be some of those going out. Certification of the tax base. The assessment office has to certify the tax base every November, certify a tax base every November so the taxing bodies can set their millage rates. With the blessing of the majority of the commissioners, the assessment office will certify the 2025 reassessment values and board decisions on or before November. I think it rolls over to the 17th. The solicitors can confirm this. On or before the 15th, but that's the weekend. So technically the deadline is the 17th for Chrissy to certify either the old values, which we know are really bad, or the new values, which are much better.
And then that will set the stage for billing next year. We've already worked out the logistics with the county IT department, so the bills will be based upon can be based on the new values, including the new county homestead exclusion of $20,000. First $20,000, you don't pay any taxes to the county on next year, under the reassessment. And the taxing bodies will receive, after the certification, their totals. What's each municipality worth? What's the school district worth? And it bears repeating, they all must vote to lower their millage rate so their revenue from real estate stays the same. They can have a second vote 30 seconds later to raise their taxes on real estate up to 10% for the county and the municipalities. The schools can do 2 votes as well, one revenue neutral. The second one is capped at the state index. So all of that's going to happen between now and next year's billing. But the key thing is, over the course of the next 2 weeks, assessment and my staff will be finishing the formal appeal process. And then during the first 2 weeks of November, we tidy it all up and audit everything and get it ready to go. Any questions?
Just the boards did a great job. I spent a lot of time down there with them. I can't say enough about, boards really handled themselves well. Our staff and tax assessment did a great job with this, pumping out these notices, taking the information they got from the boards and getting that information out and organized. There was stacks of files on tables and everything. Yeah, they ate well too. I know, some people cooked, Jeff cooked and Chrissy cooked and brought food in for them and stuff, so they did well. The people overall got along good. And from what I heard from the public, they were, some people were nervous going in. When they came out of the process, they said the board made them feel comfortable. It's not a fun thing, but they made it as good as they possibly could, I think.
Well, and I've been through dozens of these reassessments, many of them 30+ years between. And it is a burden on both assessment and the appeal boards to do this. Your assessment office and your appeal boards did an excellent job. The class that we conducted, a 3-hour class in this room, helped promote consistency between the boards. The boards get to decide the value. They make the decision. The assessment office doesn't, the clerk in the room doesn't make the decision, the boards do. But we made sure they were educated to know the rules under the law, but also where the basis is for the current values. And I think the feedback I've had is that those 3 hours were very helpful. Not enough. There can never be enough. You could do 26 hours and it wouldn't be enough. And I would encourage any of the board members that really enjoyed this to look into maybe getting their CPE license and becoming an assessor, because there's a need for that in the Commonwealth, including folks in this room. But seriously, the role of the board is crucial, because although we have that study that says the results were good overall, it doesn't mean each individual property owner's value is right. That's what the law requires. You've got to have a personal review for the extremes. And we have 7,500 people that went through that process. 800 of those 7,500 didn't really need to have a hearing, but the balance of them had a hearing before one of these boards. And the boards, 15 minutes goes by awfully fast, but they heard evidence from the property owner about the description of the property, and in many cases, the appraisals and so forth. And I also, so I want to commend the boards on their consistency and their attempts to follow the rules, and that promotes uniformity. I also want to make a call out. There are a lot of real estate professionals in this county, appraisers, realtors, attorneys, who also have been really busy helping property owners through this process. They attended a 3-hour class down at the Penn State, so they would understand it from their point of view, and we thank them for their assistance to the property owners in helping them through this. There will be several hundred properties probably go to common pleas. I have no idea how many, but there will be some that I'm sure will go to common pleas. If you're filing to common pleas, it is recommended that you consult at least with an attorney to guide you in that process, because you've got to follow the rules of the court.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have one question. In regards to the letters that are going out, I know there's some questions and concerns about the timeframe of it. And you said that you and Chrissy have prepped the letters for this batch already, but they're not going out till Monday. Does that mean that the people's clock already started earlier this week?
It starts the day they go in the mail. And to be honest, they might mail Friday, but we dated them Monday because they might not mail till Monday.
So they're post-dated.
They're dated,
Pre-dated.
they're pre-dated. When we process the data, we send it to the data processing department. Then they have to manipulate it. Then the printer has to do their thing. Then they gotta put ink to paper and finally deliver it to the post office. Monday is the date they will be mailed by, and that starts the 30-day clock, which is why the deadline will be November 19th. Chrissy?
Am I correct, though, even if they go out in the mail on Friday, the mailing date on the letter will be Monday, correct?
Yes. And to be honest, because that's what's printed on the letter, November 19th will be the deadline.
I
If we,
want to say one thing, and it's because of social media. In our office, if you call now and you say, I didn't get my determination letter, it will no longer be mailed to you. We will email it to you, or you can pick it up in the office. Because we have an incident where somebody's claiming their notice was postmarked October 6th, which the only way that could happen is if it came out of my office. So there's gonna be no more mailing of copies or anything. They'll be emailed to the people, or they can come in and pick them up.
and at this point, everybody that filed for an appeal has been scheduled to the best of Chrissy's staff's knowledge. So if you think you filed for a formal appeal and you never received your 20-day notification letter, we're actually up against the deadline for that. There have been cases where the address was either wrong or for whatever reason, it didn't get delivered to people. That's not on the county when that happens. The county mails it to the last official address, the same place the tax bills go. So if you didn't get it and you feel you should have had an appeal, Chrissy might smack me for this, but call the assessment office. They might be able to squeeze you in with less than 20 days into one of the slots.
Copy of the application that they brought into us that we postmarked. That would be the way.
Then it might, yeah, but at this point, it wouldn't be, you're not gonna get 20 days out. It would be, we'll fit you in on Friday or next week or something.
And then if I'm correct, the boards now, October 27th, we go down to one board.
24th is the
24th.
last day of residential, and that day is only 2 boards, which consists of the commercial board and 1 residential. After that, it's down to 1 commercial board a day.
Okay.
Although we might have 2 commercial boards for the last week. There was some discussion about that.
I think I decided against it.
The goal is to have everything done by the 31st, so that we can then spend the first week in November getting everything processed. But Chrissy is literally, we're mailing Monday decisions that occurred 2 days ago. Not during the day yesterday, we didn't have the paperwork in hand. But what is today, Wednesday? Monday's decisions are literally going out next Monday because she's that on top of trying to stay on, with those things.
Okay.
One more comment, in Chrissy's case too, I got a phone call from an upset resident of Schuylkill that never got his scheduling for the appeal board. And we figured out it must have been a mail problem, but Chrissy got the phone first and said, I'll email you the application. He didn't keep the original. Get it back to me tomorrow, and with you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday next week, and they got it scheduled. So she is knocking herself out, bent over backwards, kissing her butt goodbye to get it all done. So.
And I'll touch on that. The only reason that was done in boots, I don't want you to say the words that were said, but he knew the exact words that were said from my office that I could verify what he was saying to me was true, and that's why he got it.
She's doing her. Last night, your assistant had about 10 or 15 in her hand that were mailed on the 10th of October. You got them resolved too then, or?
Which ones are?
Anthony Jody had a handful of the ones that came that were postmarked the 10th of October. Must have lost in the mail in a post office somewhere.
I don't know, I'll have to look over there.
Yeah, she was, I trust you'll do your best to get.
We'll get, whatever we gotta do, we're doing it.
Like I say, she dropped what she was doing, got on the phone with this person and got resolved. I commend her for having that patience and energy and for drive to get it done, so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And her whole staff, so you go over there, no one's sitting around talking to their loved ones on the telephone, they're working away. They're busy.
No, we don't even know our loved ones.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.